Hello, hello, hello. Patricia here, Stampin' Up! Demonstrator of the United States, and more specifically, here in Alaska. And today, I finally decided to do this so that you could see the information. Sometimes, you know, there would be things I would forget to tell you or whatever. So I decided to do this. The only problem is I laminated it, and that probably was not a good idea. Anyway, if you need to email me, Stampin' with Patricia, no spaces, at Outlook.com. My Facebook, you can search for Stampin' with Patricia, again, no spaces. Or you can use the link that is down below in the description of this video. The host code for January 2022 is VRT23U3X. Now, what is it and why do you want to use it? Most demonstrators have a host code that you can use to put in your order, and we cannot add that later anymore. In the past, we've been able to do that, but we cannot do that anymore. So if you want the benefits of using the host code, then you need to put that in there. We cannot do it for you. Then also, why do you want to use it? Well, one, it goes together and puts a show together so that either the demonstrator can buy things that we give away, or you can win, in my case, all of the orders that go in under this host code. I will have a drawing, and whoever wins that drawing then gets all the host benefits from that particular show for me. I also will be creating a new series here pretty soon. It's Welcome to Stampin', which is basically the basics of stamping and what to do and how to do it and all of those things. I'll be doing that pretty soon, and I'll give you a heads up. To be quite honest, I've already created a couple of those videos, and they are actually already out there, but they were done a while back, so I'll probably redo them. We are in the midst of Sale-a-bration, which is probably one of our biggest sales of the year. You get for, in the United States, $50 or $100 back here at the back, free stamp set, or in this case, free paper. So for the what's it called, Marvelous, that's free paper. Here is one of the free stamp sets, Awesome Otters. Here's another free paper, a 6x6, the Rainbow. Here's another stamp set that you can get, Driving By, again free, or Catching Butterflies, or another paper set. This one is 12x12. It's also free with a $50 purchase. Now that's $50 before tax and shipping. And then in addition to that, every $50 or $100 gets you a new item. In other words, if you had a $250 show, you would get either $50 free stamp or papers, or you would get 104 or 103 $50. You know, it's a mixture of that. So anyway, if you need help with that, let me know. The mini catalog also has recently started. It goes from January 4th to the end of June, and there is a lot of really awesome stuff in this particular catalog. And so if you do not have a demonstrator and you would like for me to send you a catalog, I would be more than happy to do that if you would let me know. And again, you can send me an email at Stampin', can you see that? Stampin' with Patricia at Outlook.com, and I will be more than happy to send you whichever catalogs you do not have. If you live in the United States and do not already have a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator. All right, today, what are we going to do? We are going to use one of those free sets. This is the Friendly Hello, the one that was in the very back. And it comes with this paper. It's an amazing paper. I really love it. Let me open this for you real quick. I had already opened another one, but let's go ahead and, hello, flutter through these. Okay, so 2 of each of these. There we go, and there we go. Pretty amazing papers. I love them. I love that there are ones that match. So we'll flip it over to the back and see those as well. Let me just pull this all out. So these are the backs of them. The backs are usually somewhat monochromatic or black and white or whatever. These are a little bit of a combination of the designs that are not that are monochromatic or that just have like black drawing lines, whatever. I was sorry about that. I threw it across to the one of the desks. I'm in my classroom. So this is the card, or one similar to this. I messed up on this one a little bit, that we are going to make. Okay, and it's really quick and simple and easy to do. What we need are the card base. Coastal Cabana is what I chose, and then we are and that's a half sheet, so an 8.5 by 11 cut in half at 5.5, and then we're going to have our piece of not whisper white, basic white, that is 3.5 by, I forgot to write down these, 4 3/4 of an inch. That's the one that we are going to stamp on here in just a moment. And our black strip is 1 1/4. To be quite honest, it doesn't matter a whole lot how wide this is. Just use a black strip that you've got somewhere. And then we're going to cut that off at 3 1/4. So let me do that real quick. And I don't have my paper trimmer. Hold on. So sorry about that. So let's put our paper trimmer in here. And what did I say? 3. I got to measure it again. After all that, I don't want to get it wrong. It is 3 1/4. Okay. So put that in there, 3 1/4, and cut. Okay. So now we have all of our parts and pieces. Let's put them together. Sort of have all of our parts and pieces. I have a scrap piece of white, and I am going to take my little bird with the flowers. And sorry about that shaking. Okay, I'm going to get some good ink coverage on there and stamp my little bird and flowers. Okay, now this set does not have a die cut for it. And so what I'm going to do is first give it a little bit of color. And I'm going to go ahead and use my Bermuda Bay. That's the same color that I have for my paper. When you order the blends, that's what these are. These are the blends. When you order the blends, they come in a light and a dark. Let me make sure. Yeah, I've got Bermuda Bay on both of these. What I do is I like to start with the light and then end up with the dark. Doesn't matter. I hear many people say they start with the dark and end with the light. Whatever. It does not matter. And I am not a colorer, but I have found that I love these blends. And so basically I'm going to go over the whole little birdie and color him all in with the light. This is an extremely light touch. I am not pressing very hard. I don't know if you noticed, but there is a brush end and a chisel end, and I am using the brush end because it's a fairly large area that I'm covering with my little bird. And I'm going to put some ink out here on his tail feathers as well. Okay, close that up. Now I'm going to take my dark and I'm going to go ahead and go with the chisel end, the brush end, and I'm going to put some dark now on this, on the top of my little bird. Notice I'm missing that eye. It does have a tiny little piece of white in that. Whoops. I got some ink on my branch, which I didn't mean to do. So this is, I've got it upside down for you, but this is a color lifter. And right there, I put the tiniest little bit of extra, and I went outside the line there. So I'm going to put some on there. But this is what I use this color lifter for mostly. The belly of your bird is usually going to be lighter. So I'm going to do just a little bit of color lifting on his belly. Give it a chance to dry. And then it will look like this or like this. Okay, I'm not going to finish. I'm going to cut him out, but just barely a little bit. I don't know if he's a boy or a girl, but anyhow. Okay, so one thing on cutting. Now, something I want to show you here. I actually have two of these cards. One, I cut right on the line. Usually, I cut outside the line a little bit. And I actually like this better. At first, I didn't think I would. But because on this card, it was against that black, and I just decided I wanted it right on the edge of that little bird. You do whatever works for you, but that was the decision that I made this time. So I'm going to cut right on the line, and I'm going to start. My scissors stay still, and I move with my non-dominant hand the piece that I am cutting. Okay, so I'm right-handed, so my non-dominant hand then would be my left hand, and I'm just cutting along that edge, and then I'm going to switch the paper around and just roll it and cut out my little bird. It really doesn't take very long. Now, I would not do this if I were making, say, 50 of this card, okay? I would not want to color and cut out my little bird. But if I was only making maybe 10 or 15 of them, or, whatever your tolerance is, you know what yours is. So I'll finish cutting that later, and ta-da, I have a little bird. Okay, very, very simple. Whoops, that's my scrap piece. Sorry about that. We're going to bring this in. And actually, what I didn't show you is how I got this layout. Let me show you. If you look in the Sale-a-bration, helps if you know where it is. Oh, it's not in Sale-a-bration. Where did I get this one? I don't remember where I got this. One of the things that you'll notice, though, is there are cards that have already been designed by, they had to create the catalog. And so they've already designed these. So use that as kind of your starting point. I thought I had used this one copying from there, but I guess not. I don't remember where I got the idea from. So, back to doing our card. I have my inks. I got my Coastal Cabana and my Memento Tuxedo Black. And you'll see on here that I have some background, if you will, for my little black strip. And so that's exactly what I'm going to do. What I want to do, though, is place my little strip so that I know where it's supposed to go. And then I'm going to take my inks. I want to get good ink coverage on there. And I'm going to put some of the stamps from this particular stamp set. And I'm just going to kind of place them around. Woo! Again, woo! It's a good thing that's going to be covered up, isn't it? I'm going to put this back on there, see how it's going to look. And then I'm going to put one down here at the bottom. You'll notice I keep going back to get ink because it doesn't look like I have enough on, and there it doesn't have enough, but maybe that will be covered up. The good thing is paper has two sides. How cool is that? All right, so I'm going to cover this up just like that. And now I'm going to take my leaf and I'm going to pepper some leaves in there. Again, I want to cover them up, or I want to know where they need to be. So I put my little black strip in there. Doesn't have to be exact. I'm just sort of putting it in there somewhere. Okay, something like that works for me. I'm going to close these up before I make any, huge errors with them. You never make errors, do you? With your ink. Okay, so there we go. Then I'm going to take my little bird that's already, oh, here it is, that's already cut out, and decide how I want him or her to go on here. And I'm going to put dimensionals on the back of him. So one here, one there, one over here, and maybe I'll take my scissors and cut one of these in half, just like that, because I want to put one down here close to his tail. Now, before I take my backing off, I want to make sure I've got where I want that to be. So somewhere right about there. Now I'm going to take my backings off. I live in Alaska in a very tiny village way up north, and it is so dry here in the winter. Did I get all of them off? Yep. Okay. So something about like that. Now I don't want to touch this one. You see how there's an extra one sticking up. So I'm going to keep it from hitting the back, and now I'm going to put, woohoo. Well, Patricia, you're just all thumbs today. And put my little bird right there. And you see how it was moving a bit. It gives me that wiggle room, if you will. There we go. And then once it sits, it will set up. Okay, so then I'm going to take my sentiment, put everything else away so that it's not in the way. And I'm going to go back to my Coastal Cabana. Open that back up. Get my Hello Friend. I like these because you can see through them, which means I want to get good ink coverage on that because I'm wanting that to be even and have good color. Okay, I'm going to let that sit for a sec. There we go, good color and it's even. Oh, I'm not ready to close that up. In the ink, or in the set, there is what I call dottage. And I look for these in my stamp sets because they are so incredibly useful for sort of pulling all of this together. And so I'm just going to put some, and yes, I'm going to go a little over my sentiment in this case. Not too much, but some, just like that. Very simple, and yet it pulls it all together with that like I said, with what I call dottage. All right, let me get these out of the way. I'm going to pull in my card base. Fold it in half. As I said, I cut it in half, an 8.5 by 11 at the, in other words, if I were to put these two together, that would be my 8.5 by 11. So on the 11-inch side, I cut it at 5.5. Okay, and then I'm going to score, or didn't score, I used my bone folder to burnish it. And I am going to attach this, whatever glue works for you, adhesive. See, that's where I touched the ink pad. Okay, so I'm going to put down some glue. Looking good. And then I am going to evenly space this the best that I can. And how quick and easy was that? Now the only thing I need to add to it are some kind of whatever works for you. This particular one are the classic matte dots in white, vanilla, gray. What kind of gray is this? It doesn't say. Some kind of gray, and then black. Now, if I wanted to, I could take my marker and didn't get that glued down. Look how on this one I put 2 white and a black. But what if I want color on it? I can put color on it. So go with the light or the dark, whichever one floats your boat, and color it. Now these are a little, they have a tiny little bit of stand up, so I'm going to color all of the sides as well and let that dry. And then I have a dot that perfectly matches, and I'm going to do the same with the little one, that perfectly matches the color on my card. This is one of the things that I absolutely love and adore about Stampin' Up. Everything, all of the colors match. Here we go. Okay, so I'm going to reach under here. It's already got some sticky on it. And pick it up, if it'll let me pick it up. All right, I'm going to go for this end that's got that little sticky to it. Uh-oh, did I push that down? No, there it is. Okay, and let's see, do I want this here? Yeah, I want it right there. And I want the little one right there. And I'm going to go with a black one, and I think I'll go with a black small one, small black one, and slide it off of that sticky. I got the sticky to sticky side, so there we go, just like that. And there we go. The card is almost done, not entirely. We are still going to decorate the inside of it. To decorate the inside, I'm going to go ahead and take that leaf and the memento, and on the inside of the card, I am going to put that leaf up in the top corner, like that, and a little bit here on the side. And just go down, making sure I get, you know, enough color. And there we go. And that's all. Now I could have put a white sheet in here, and I likely should have, maybe. It doesn't really matter, because you can write on this very well. Oh, it looks like I dragged that stamp. But you know what? I'm not really worried about it. If I were worried about it, I could go ahead and put a white sheet in there and be fine with it. But how cool is that card? And it's with a free stamp set. You can't beat that. All right. I hope you've enjoyed this. I hope you have learned something new. If you have, I would love it if you would give me a thumbs up, share the video. If you have not already subscribed, I would love it if you would subscribe. I seem to be getting a lot of people subscribing lately, so I'm loving that. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Means the world to me. And please leave a comment. I just love to hear from you. And so I would love, oh, you know what we forgot? We forgot to do our, oh no, I didn't. I already did one. So here is the envelope. You always want to decorate your envelope. As I tell people in the workshops, no naked envelopes. There we go. All right. Thank you so much. Have a good one. And, oh, let me show you what card we're going to do next. How fun is this? This one, isn't that cool? Ah, I got something on my envelope. Okay, here it is. There you go. How simple is that? It's really simple, but it looks amazing. I love it. So I'll show you how to do that one next. Thank you so much. Hope you have a good one, and we'll see you next time.